I am so happy you're here. I really wanted to incorporate more motivational advice type content into this channel, and I thought that the perfect way to do it was to start out just by talking to you guys about it. And I hope that you are super relaxed and ready to kind of just get in a better mindset than you have been about loving yourself. Because it's a super hard thing to do, but I think that it's very necessary in this day and age to take the time to really evaluate, do I love myself? Am I doing the things that I want to do, or am I letting myself stop me from doing those and obtaining those things and the goals that I want to reach? So the first thing I really want to talk to you guys about today is learning to listen to yourself. I find that we are in a world that is filled with noise, whether you are on the internet, whether you are out and about with people hustling by you all the time. We are in a world where silence is very, very unlikely. You will very unlikely come into a situation where you are just at peace and you only hear the woods, and the trees. A lot of people don't live in that situation, and even if you do, you can have a loud home life. You can have things that distract you in many different ways, and especially with the internet, you can live in a super small town that doesn't have a lot to do, and yet you're still feeling so overwhelmed and frazzled and like you can't even hear your own voice anymore because the voices of others get so clogged up in your brain that you don't even know which one is yours anymore. And it's a very scary thing, but I think that adds to the fact that we don't even know who we are to love ourselves, because we don't know what we believe in and what voice is ours anymore. So I challenge you on this first tip to really stop listening to everything. Now, this doesn't mean to be, very mean to people or to ignore people or to never respond to anybody, but it does mean to take that time to really just be who you are and hear that voice, listen to it, and do the things it's telling you in the best way. So if it's telling you, bad things, of course, please get help. Please do not listen to the bad voices, but listen to the voice as far as what it needs. I feel like a lot of the times our voices in our heads tell us exactly what we need to make ourselves feel better, but we drown it out and we turn on a YouTube video or a podcast and we say, this is what I need to listen to. I don't need to listen to my voice in my head telling me that I need, either medication or therapy or just a break. And instead we turn on another source of volume and we drown it out. And so I challenge you to really listen to yourself for a while, whether that means turning off all screens, whether that means sitting alone in silence, whether that means meditation. I think we can all really benefit from silence. The next thing that I want to talk about is cancel culture. And if you don't know what that is, it's something that happens online, I guess, and in real life nowadays, where when one person makes a mistake, whether that's dramatic or just a small tiny mistake, we immediately tell them that they cannot learn from that mistake, that they cannot do anything to fix it, that they are ultimately a pile of trash and no longer are accepted into society. And for some cases, yes, murderers, of course, they're locked up. They should not be allowed into society whatsoever anymore. But for small mistakes that people can learn from, it's something that's very detrimental, not only to those people who are now outcasted from society and feel that they can never be good again and in return only want to be bad because they can't overcome what they had originally done, but it's detrimental to those people who are just watching the other people be canceled, or who are even involved in saying, we no longer support this person ever again, they can't learn, no, they're horrible. It is teaching us that no matter what we do, we will never, ever be allowed to make a mistake. How are we ever going to love ourselves if we don't think that failure is an option? Life is all about failures and the ups and the downs, and learning that sometimes we are truly going to mess up and make mistakes before we learn how to do things properly, before we get to our ultimate dream, our goal, and the person we're going to be, there has to be some things that make us and shape us into that person. And we are not giving ourselves that okay to do that. And that can take a toll on a person's mental health, thinking that I can never mess up. I have to be perfect. Who in the world is going to love themselves if they think they have to be perfect? No one is perfect, and yet we are holding everyone to this standard that no one can meet. So we're all sad. We're all looking at ourselves and thinking, you are a horrible person. You did that one thing that one time, and you will never be what everybody wants you to be. That in itself isn't a good thing to look at. If you are judging your worth based on what someone else thinks about you, that will never make you love yourself. But I think cancel culture is something that we have to be careful of, and we have to realize that it's bad. And even if you can't stop it, maybe stop being a part of the problem. That person will hopefully take that and make a better decision after that, but it's not up to you. And yes, let's make people accountable for their actions. Let's also make sure to, if in certain cases they can overcome that and they can be a better person after that, give them the opportunity to, as we would want the opportunity as well. Our bodies are our own, and yet we don't feel that way. We think that people who post pictures of themselves in bikinis on Instagram are more worthy than us, and the commenters and the followers on their page determine whether they are pretty in society or whether they're not. And that means we believe that our bodies are not our own, that they are the world's to judge and to criticize. And that makes us, or at least that makes me sometimes, feel like I don't have control of how I'm perceived. And no, nobody has control over how they're perceived, but when that translates to how people perceive me as how I perceive myself, that's when it gets to the point where you are no longer loving who you are because you saw a comment one time that said that maybe you were a little bit overweight, or maybe your nose looked weird, or your ears were too big, or anything that made the other person not like you is now how you don't like yourself. Your body is not theirs. It will never be theirs. You own your body, even in real life. No one else owns your body but you. You make the decisions, you decide. Your insecurities, the things that maybe people have made fun of you for, or maybe you just look in the mirror and you think, I hate that about myself. Those are the things that people will love. You see, you can't have something that is so unique that some people won't hate on you for. Because where there is love, there is hate. Where there is high praise, there is enemies. And there will always be that. But if you choose to not let those people who told you you had a big nose, if you don't let people take away the value you see in your nose, the uniqueness that you accept in your nose, then you can truly make it your best feature. I have seen so many times when models who will have skin diseases, or they will have, gaps in their teeth like I do, big bushy eyebrows like Cara Delevingne, and they use it to be who they want to be. Because in full, you are everything you need to be successful. Right within you right now. It just seems to me that those people who embrace it and even kind of throw it in your face, look, I'm different, look at this, they're the ones who truly have learned to love themselves exactly how they are, and that has brought them success. I think also a lot of the times we can make ourselves feel so horrible if we are on a different path than the people around us. We can no longer love who we are becoming because it's not coming as quickly as we would like it to be. And this is just something that I think we feel like there's a race, but not all of us are running the same race. And that's where it gets hard, because we see people almost at the finish line and we say, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose. But no, you're not going to lose, because that wasn't even the race you signed up for. You are in this race, and the only person in this race is you. And you will get there in your divine timing that makes you the happiest, that your life purpose is supposed to bring you to. In your time, in your race, and nobody else can beat you, because it's your path. And so there's no need to beat yourself down. And this is something I'm still learning, is there's no need to beat yourself down when there is so much success in the world for everybody. Their path was supposed to stop way before yours and get to the place where they felt content before you were, and you're still running, you're still pushing, and just because they're content and they stopped doesn't mean that your race is any less valid because it's longer. We talked a bit about the online thing, but I want to talk about in person, when we feel as though we're not being accepted by the people that we thought were the closest to us, and they either make fun of who we are, what we look like, or just don't get it, don't get us. And that is not our problem. If somebody else doesn't get us, that means we are with the wrong people. The people who are meant to be in your life will accept you for exactly who you are and won't want you to sacrifice the person that you were meant to be just to be their friend. And so if somebody in your real life is making you feel less than, then they are not helping you love yourself. They are not steering you in the direction you need to go, and they need to be let go of. And this next one is something that's very near and dear to my heart, and that is that changing is necessary. And sometimes when you look back on who you were in the past and you think, I'm not who I was before, or your friends are telling you, you changed so much, and it's almost a negative way they're telling you, and you feel like, I loved that girl back then, and I can never get back to her, or him, or whatever you identify as. But the thing is, sometimes change is essential for survival. Sometimes when you go through any sort of trauma, or just as you grow older, you have to change who you are in your ways to survive. That doesn't mean that the person you are now is any less lovable than the person you were. You just need to find new ways to love the strength that you have now. What you went through is so incredibly powerful. You are powerful. You are strong, and you deserve to be loved for those things, even if you can't love yourself in the same way you did years prior when everybody else seemed to love you for being that person. They will love you now for those new things, or they're not meant to be in your life. As long as you keep a kind heart with a strong spirit, they should have no problem loving small changes in you. They should be more than happy that you have survived something that was so incredibly hard, and should recognize how much you have evolved because of that. Loving yourself is one of the hardest things to learn how to do and to continue doing daily, but it's something that you should really, really try to work on. And I hope that these things that I talked about today help you. I hope that you just try to learn that even the smallest thing that you appreciate about yourself is love. And you just build on that until you find yourself in a place again where you're like, okay, I am okay with myself. I am who I am, and I'm going to get to where I want to be, because you are exactly who you need to be to live the life of your dreams. And every single day that you are learning and growing and changing is getting you one step closer to everything you could ever want. All you have to do is accept that sometimes insecurities will come up, but everybody has those. Nobody sits around thinking that they're perfect Nobody looks like Instagram. Nobody looks exactly the same as anybody else. And I think that's the most beautiful part. You have something brand new to bring to this world. And I hope that this kind of taught you a little bit on how to love yourself again. And if you truly do feel that you need more help, I encourage you to go to therapy, to try to talk to somebody, to maybe do the BetterHelp where it's therapy on an app. Talk to somebody in your life if you can. And if you do want more videos like these, I would love to make them. This is a super big passion of mine, and I am ready to get in the best mindset of my life, and I want you all to be on this journey with me. So please remember, I am here for you no matter what war you're going through. And I love you. I love you. Okay, bye.